this is Himachal 365 and you're watching Hilquest News channel. Let's start with the headlines. Birbhadra Singh was a guide to me, but we agreed to differ, said Nadda. Ensure tourists follow COVID SOPs, Himachal Chief Minister directs SPs. 180 new COVID cases, 1 death in Himachal Pradesh. WFH seems to have become work from Himachal. Tourists must follow COVID rules, says a police chief. Landlord sexually assaults minor in Shimla suburb. India sees 42,766 new COVID cases, 1,206 more deaths. Assured of action, villagers of Rakkad area in Dera subdivision call of stir against illegal mining. Congress free base collection promise goes for a toss in Solan. Prime Minister Modi's new cabinet has 42% ministers with criminal cases, 90% crorepattis according to ADR report. Rakesh Tikat asked for impartial probe on Republic Day violence. Now news in detail. Birbhadra Singh was a guide to me, but we agreed to differ, said Nadda. BJP National President JP Nadda said that Birbhadra Singh's demise was not just a big loss to the state, but also to him. The Birbhadra Singh had been a guide to him from whom he got to learn a lot. Nadda arrived from Delhi to pay his last respect to Birbhadra Singh. We agreed to disagree but respected each other's sentiments and feelings, said Nadda after offering floral tributes to the Congress leader on the ridge in Shimla. Nadda said he laid a wreath on the body on the behalf of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Nadda had visited Birbhadra Singh at the IGMC hospital on July 5 to inquire after his well-being. His visit got him appreciation from Congress leaders and Birbhadra Singh supporters. Ensure tourists follow COVID SOPs, Himachal Chief Minister direct SPs. Concerned over a manifold increase in tourist arrival at Key Hill Station in Himachal after a fall in COVID-19 pandemic cases, Chief Minister Jairam Thakur directed the Deputy Commissioners, District Police Chiefs and Chief Medical Officers to ensure strict implementation of COVID-appropriate behavior norms to check spread of the virus. Presiding over conference, district collectors, SP and CMOs through video conference to review COVID-19 pandemic situation, Jairam Thakur said that the state government had allowed free movement of tourists to the state, which has resulted in a large number of tourists heading towards the hill. He also appealed to the tourists to use of face mask and hand sanitizers besides strictly following the SOPs. The Chief Minister asked the police to identify places where the flow of tourists was very high and deploy additional police force to tackle the situation. The state was attracting a large number of tourists, but the government had to ensure that no tourist was allowed to float SOPs, he said, and asked the official to keep a strict vigil on tourists not following the protocol. 180 new COVID cases, 1 death in Himachal Pradesh. As many as 180 COVID cases were reported in the state, taking the tally to 203,425. Beside, one person died of the virus in Chamba. There were 38 cases in Mandi, 37 in Solan, 36 in Shimla, 21 in Kangra, 13 in Shimla, 10 in Bilaspur, 8 each in Hamirpur and Kullu, 6 in Una and 3 in Kinnaur. The number of active cases declined to 1,359. WFH seems to have become work from Himachal. Tourists must follow COVID rules, says the police chief. Work from home, a factor of life in the COVID pandemic, seemed to have become a work from Himachal Pradesh, with thousands of people pouring into the hill state to escape the confines of their homes and the heat, says Himachal Pradesh Director General of Police Sanjay Kundu. While the state's economy is seeing a welcome uptick, the crowds not just in popular destinations like Shimla and Manali, but also in lesser known towns such as Nagar and Jibbi are a cause of concern, he said, calling for COVID appropriate behavior from tourists. The tourist surge has added another layer of responsibility for the police force, which has put up checkpoints at various entries and exit points into towns to ensure that COVID norms are being followed. Landlord sexually assaults a minor in Shimla suburb. An 11-year-old girl was allegedly sexually assaulted by her 59-year-old landlord in the absence of her parents in the Jatia Devi area in suburbs of Shimla city. The girl told about the incident to her parents on their return. In a complaint to the police, the mother of the victim said that on July 7, when she returned to her rented room, her daughter was in pain due to the assault. The accused also threatened to kill her if she told anyone about the incident. The Shimla police registered a case under Section 376 and 506 of the IPC and Section 4 of the POSCO Act. They have arrested the accused, who would be produced in the court for police remand, police sources said. India sees 42,766 new COVID cases, 1,206 more deaths. India has lodged 42,766 new coronavirus infections, taking the tally to 3,795,716, while the active cases have declined to 4,55,033, according to the Union Health Ministry data updated on Saturday. The death toll has climbed to 4,07,145 with 1,206 fresh fatalities. The active cases comprise 1.48% of the total infections and the national recovery rate stands at 97.2%, the data showed. Assured of action, villagers of Rakkar area in Dera subdivision call of stir against illegal mining. Residents of the Rakkar area in Dera subdivision call off their week-long dharna and hunger strike. The residents of 6 villages were sitting on a dharna in front of the office of Tehsildar Rakkar in protest against large-scale illegal mining going on in Beas and its rivulates since July. The villagers said since the administration had assured them that there would be no illegal mining in Beas and local rivulets, they have called off their agitation. If mining starts again, they would resort to direct action. Said despite large-scale opposition by the residents of Rakkar, Chamukha and Kuna Panchayat of Dehra subdivision, there was no let-up in illegal mining in Beas along the Amb-Hamirpur highway, forcing them to launch an agitation and a hunger strike. Congress free base collection promise goes for a toss in Solan. The Congress promised to ensure free garbage collection from houses in the Solan Municipal Corporation limits has gone for a toss, with the urban body having a little income to do so it for free. Bills worth rupees 10 lakh have been issued to the residents, which also includes old bills, said an official. In the absence of adequate income, the municipal corporation authorities have no choice but to charge for garbage collection from the residents. Prime Minister Modi's new cabinet has 42% ministers with criminal cases, 90% crorepattis, according to ADR report. Of the 78 ministers in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's union cabinet following the mega reshuffle earlier this week, at least 42% have declared criminal cases against them, showed a new report published by the Association for Democratic Reforms ADR polled rights group. Of these ministers, 4 have cases related to murder attempts, the report showed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi allocated portfolios to the newly inducted lawmakers shortly after their oath-taking ceremony earlier this week on Wednesday. A total of 15 ministers were inducted into the cabinet, while 28 lawmakers were given Union Minister of State votes. Thereby, the total number of members in the Prime Minister's Council of Ministers now stands at 78. Rakesh Tikait asked for impartial proof on Republic Day violence. Bharatiya Kisan Union BKU leader Rakesh Tikait on Saturday said that the incident of violence on Republic Day this year needs an impartial investigation, for which the farmers may have to knock on the doors of United Nations. He clarified that leaders of the movement had not talked about going on the UN over the farm laws and had only brought up the issue in relation to the January 26 incident. So this is all for this time. Stay connected and keep watching Hilquist News channel. Thank you.
Hello Himachal, Himachal 365 TV, सूचना, समाचार, मनोरंजन, एजुकेशन और भी बहुत कुछ लेकर आ रहा है।
ये है हिमाचल 365 टीवी और आप देख रहे हैं हिलकुस्ट टीवी न्यूज। हम जल्द आ रहे हैं पूरे हिमाचल की ताजा तरीन खबरों के साथ। हर तरह के समाचारों के लिए देखिए हिमाचल 365 टीवी और जुड़े रहिए हिलकुस्ट न्यूज के साथ।